Okay, I'm starting to record. So I'm Greta Murray. I'm a presidential diamond. I've been with It Works for about 3 years now. And we just kind of put this idea together because we know that our teams really like when they can hear advice from alternate places. So we all know each other to be really great leaders and sidelines. And we just thought it was going to be a cool opportunity for our teams to all kind of come together and kind of see how other leaders do things. So we have Jackie Sandaker. Jackie.
Hi guys, I'm a presidential diamond with It Works as well. And I've been with the company since, I guess, 4 years this month. And what else background? What other things should we say? I think that's all. I'll keep it short. That's all. I was like going to go into where I live, like all this stuff. You don't care about that.
You can if you want to. Okay, we've got Brooke, our Canadian friend.
Hi, I'm Brooke Egers. I've been with It Works for just over 2 years, and I'm married to a police officer. We have 3 boys, and I retired, I think it was just over a year ago, so I'm doing this full time, and I love it, and just really excited to be on this call with all of you.
And you're a presidential diamond, right?
Yeah, presidential diamond.
Woo! Canada. Then we've got Jennifer House.
Hey. I have been with the company a little over 2 years, and I'm a triple diamond, and I am in Austin, Texas. So we'll keep it short and sweet here too.
Cool. Okay, I'm just going to jump into the first question that was sent in actually to one of our team pages. And I like this one because I think it can go 2 ways. So the question was simple, and they just wanted to know, when you sign a new distributor, what do you do to launch them? And I think this is a good question to answer because not only are we telling people how we launch our new distributors, but if you're a new distributor, do these things too. So I think it kind of goes both ways. Who wants to start?
Look at us. Don't all jump in at once.
Okay. I can start.
How about just like the top 3 things that you have to do when you have a new distributor?
I like it.
I can start if you guys want.
Okay.
What I do is on my team page, we have a pinned post at the top page, and it kind of outlines some goals that you should do, such as getting your loyal customers within your first 72 hours or before your kit comes in, do your training, or make sure they log into their e-suite, set up their auto shipment, and I wrote out a handful of leaders that they should be following on Facebook. And then also what I'm doing lately is within their first week of starting, I get them to commit to a date that we are going to host an online party for them. A lot of they live near
Brooke,
me.
I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
It's like kind of just getting a little choppy.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I pick a date for them to we set up an online party because that's giving them a date and time to actually invite people to an event. And I find if you give them a date and time to invite someone to an event, they have a goal to work towards. And that's also an awesome way to get their first 4 loyal customers committed.
I like it. Jackie, what are the top 3 things you do when you get a brand new distributor?
So the first thing I want to do is connect with them, either via Zoom or on the phone. And I think Caitlin touched on this last night, but her and I have found in through our years that if you don't get people on the phone right away, they are scared of it forever. And I don't know why that is. We live in the age of texting and email. So I think setting that expectation first and foremost is huge, because if I sign you up and I'm your sponsor, like, I expect that we're going to have a relationship, that it's going to be that that you're going to be texting me, messaging me, and calling me. So I like to set that up ASAP within the first day or 2, because I like to walk them through. I prefer a Zoom because if they're not local, I like to walk them through their e-suite. I want to just explain. So I'll do a screen share on my Zoom. I'll explain their e-suite. I'll go through, tell them, this is how you submit a support ticket. This is your documents, blah, blah, blah. This is how you sign up a customer. Just really basic. And then on that Zoom, we do a launch party, or we set up a time for a launch party. And how I've been doing my launch parties, so my team, that's why I was going to get into where I live. So I was in Arizona. I moved to Michigan. So a lot of my team is down in Arizona and actually all over the country. But thanks to Zoom and everything, it's been a beautiful thing because we can do our launch parties and everything virtually. So what I've been doing is a Zoom launch party. And I've been encouraging them to get people to come over and I'll Zoom in for it or sometimes they're confident and they just want to go for it, and that's fine too. But I like that within the first 2 weeks, because there is a vast difference between someone who will wrap somebody and someone who hasn't, or someone that has a party and someone who doesn't, in how they take off. And I think it has everything to do with getting those first loyal customers and building that confidence. And sorry, I forgot to tell you guys, on that Zoom or phone call that I do with them, I like to encourage them and challenge them to get their first 4 loyal customers in that 48 hours. And I also will give them like a sample post, and I just have people jump in. Like sometimes sometimes I'm like, you don't have to tell your life story, just jump in with a before and after and tell people how excited you are to be a part of this company with these products. And just go for it. So you just I encourage them just to jump in. So launch party, and then I guess the third thing, just communication again. I just get them on the team page. I like to give them like samples, connect my business, and they can use any posts off that, because I think when people first start, they don't know what to post. They don't know what's compliant. They're scared. So I think when you can tell people, sample posts, I always tell them, make it your own, do a selfie, whatever it has to be, but wording is huge. So if you can guide people those first 30 days about what to post and how to post, they'll really take off on their own after that.
I really like that. And can I just tell you that I've been a distributor for 3 years now, and I literally just realized within like the last 6 months that I was not telling people how to enroll a customer. I feel like we get to this point in our business where everything is kind of second nature, and you forget that like when you first started, you didn't know how to do that. And someone was telling me, I got a message and someone was telling me, I'm trying to enroll this person, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm thinking like, you just go to enroll customers. She's like, where's that? I'm like, oh my God, I'm a failure. Like I didn't even tell you. So I love that. Like even just like the basic stuff that they need to know, like it really is as simple as telling them how to enroll a customer and what they should be posting. And that's good. It's really simple. Jennifer, what do you do? What are your top 3?
It's changed so much. I think that's the biggest thing is like as we grow and we learn from each other, it kind of changes how we do it.
Yeah.
But what I've done lately is I'm with Jackie. I get them on the phone ASAP. I don't want to overwhelm people, and I feel like in the past I did. I feel like I was giving them too much information, and it scared some people to the point where they're almost like just paralyzed to even move forward. So a lot of times I find out, why. Usually by the time we've enrolled them, we kind of know why they want to do this business. But I just really start right from the get-go, and I'm like, okay, I know you love these products. I know that's why you got into it. Who are 4 people that would order from, want to try a product, order from you, support you? And I think for me now, what I'm realizing with people is they just want you to kind of hold their hand and get them through that. So I'll work through a list of them with 4 to 10 people that they think might want to support them. And I'll say, okay, well, how do you thought of these 4. What's a product that you think they would love? And kind of start there. And then, okay, how do you want to communicate with them? Do you want to call them? Do you want to text them? Do you want a message? How do you want to do this? And really, I just kind of stick with them for I try to get those 4 like within 72 hours and stick with them the whole time. If it's by text and somebody has a question, I'm like, okay, here, let's try this as a response, and just really, really work with them. Once we've gotten those first 4, we've connected them on the team page, and I tell everybody it's such a great resource. A lot is coming at you, just kind of sift through it at your own pace. It's just more than anything, it's a great resource to give you some ideas, get you, introduced to everybody, so on and so forth. I also will, when I started, I just was like, I just ordered these wraps. Does anybody want to try these things with me? That's all I said on Facebook. No picture, nothing fancy. That's all I said. And I had like 8 or 9 customers right away. And so I think keeping it super simple on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, that's the easiest way to go. We can get into all the other stuff later, but I think just really helping them with the small little stuff in the beginning. So get them on the phone, help them get those 4, help them with a couple posts just to kind of get going. And then I love to do the Zoom, whether it's a team Zoom that they get into with the eSuite or it's us just one-on-one and just kind of showing them the basics. Again, we used to do way too much in the eSuite, and I feel like it was like just way too overwhelming. So now it's just how to enroll a customer, where to find product info, where to find maps, so on and so forth. And I always have them print their executive and Ruby map right after we've gotten those first 4 customers. Because I've already kind of told them why we need to get the customers, but now it starts to make sense at that point. So I feel like if you just really wrap your arms around them from day one and really focus hard for 2 to 3 days, you're going to find out if that person's a runner. If they're excited and they had your support, they're going to stick with it. If they don't get back to you, you kind of know what you're up against and you move on, you know, and on to the next.
Oh, sorry, Jen, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just had to add something because, of course, I just remembered this. But when you said hand-holding, there is a little bit of hand-holding. And small goals are going to be your best friend the first 30 days, and very, very specific small goals with your DTs. And so, like I said, first 4 loyal customers, give them a time frame. Don't just say whenever. Give them a time frame. Then second goal, make a list of 50 to 100 people. Have them print that hundreds list by Tuesday and make sure you set the next meeting with them. So very specific small goals that they can meet, because each goal they meet, they're going to feel progress and they're going to feel excited. So I think if you're just like, here's your steps to success, go do it, everyone's like, what is that? Like, and you know, and sometimes like I'll still hear people say that and I'm like, that like leaders, they're like, here's your steps, just do that. And I'm like, that did not work for me, just saying, like at all. So I was actually a distributor for a whole year and I did nothing, zero, nada. So that, don't count anyone out, but I just didn't really know where to start. So I didn't start. So small goals are going to be your best friend when it comes to a new distributor.
I like it. And I like keeping it simple too, because I think, first of all, when people start this business, 99% of people already feel like they have too much on their plate to begin with. And then when you're telling them like this and watch these and do this and do that and print this and do this and they're like, I can't, I don't have time for this. Like, this is too much. And I think a lot of times people get scared off. We used to add people to like 5 different team pages. We would tag them in like 45 different welcome posts and like, check this out and check this out. And people were like, I didn't realize when I signed up that this was going to be like this consuming of my life. So I like just telling them like, your first goal is 4 loyal customers. Let's do that and give them a really short, I like what you said, a really short time frame to do it. That plants the urgency in them. What do you guys do? I have my own question now. What do you guys do, like if they don't get their first 4? Like, what do you do if you give them a week's goal, or even if at the end of their 30 days, they haven't met that first goal yet? How do you, like when, because, okay, so a lot of times people say to me like, I'm following up with my distributors, like I'm emailing or I'm messaging her, like she hasn't planned her launch party yet, like she's not responding to me. Like, what do you guys do in that situation?
Oh, go. I feel like I'm such a talker. I just had this happen today, actually.
Good. Tell us what you did.
I'm sorry. It was her 31st day today, and we didn't get 4. And I think the biggest thing is reminding people that that Ruby bonus is a small taste of what's to come, and being super positive and reminding them that that's great if you get a bonus in this business, but the true, you know, our commissions, our wrap cash, everything else that goes, our fast start bonuses, there's much more than that $500. And I'm just saying Ruby bonus because that's what we're talking about today, but there's much more than that to be had. Yes, it's, you know, a cherry on top. It's great, but keep your eye on the prize, and you're not looking for just one bonus, right? You're looking for a steady income and residual income. So just keep it super positive and don't let them feel like they're a failure, because they're absolutely not. And sometimes it just takes people a little bit longer. So.
Yeah. I think if you're touching base with people, you've kind of plugged them into the different things that are going on. If you're communicating with them every few days, you know pretty quickly the people that get excited and they're into it and they're blowing your phones up and it's so fun and it's exciting. But then you have the other people that are just not quite sure. And if they're local, I feel like go sit and have coffee with them. Take them, you know, I don't know, go have a glass of wine with them, whatever it might take, and get in front of them. Because if you can put their fears at rest and answer some of those questions, it may just be, some people are, you know, we've got all these personalities that we're always talking about, but some people are just, they feel like they have to know it all before they ever get started.
That was me, guys. Like, that was totally me. I was like paralyzed by the unknown at first, and I felt like, and mind you, I asked my sponsor questions for 7 months before I joined her team. Like, she hated me. I was like such a nightmare. I asked her everything you could possibly think of. Like, I'm the girl who read the comp plan before I started. Like, ridiculous. And then I feel like something just once I felt like I had all the information I needed, like something just clicked and I started going. But that's why, because I was that girl, that's why it's so easy for me now to say, like, you don't need to do this. Like, don't be me right now. Like, you don't need all this. It's so much more simple than you're making it. Like, you're just working yourself up for nothing. Like, you just don't need to do all that. I did the most.
Yeah. I think if you're communicating with them and if you show them that like you really do care and you really do want to help them, if you're past that 30 days, I mean, I still reach out. I'm like, hey, you know, what can we do different? What can we try next? You know, let's try a lot of things until we figure out what works for you. Then I just kind of keep checking in. It may not be as often, but I make sure I always check in. I have a girl now that she didn't do anything. She was a distributor over a year and she used the products, but she didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden she's got 3 babies at home and she was tired of leaving them at home. And she like she watched long enough a lot of people's journeys and it just clicked. And because I had always just kind of reached out here and there and would check on her, you know, like her stuff on Facebook, whatever, she just, I don't know, when she came back and she was ready, she was ready. And now I talk to her 25 times a day and it's really fun, you know? So you don't know. You don't know who's going to run. You don't know who's going to, you don't know. You don't know.
I don't think Jill is on here, but I use her as an example every time this comes up because she didn't get, maybe just because like she's the most notable person I can think of that didn't get their first 4 loyal customers because we were at conference one time. I think it was conference or green carpet. We were sitting next to each other. And Pam said, stand up if you got your first 4 loyal customers in your first 30 days. And like the entire, like everyone around us stood up and I was like, Jill, did you hear what she said? And she's like, I didn't get it. And I was like, what? Like I couldn't believe it. And I was like, here you are, like in the VIP section as a presidential diamond. She didn't get her first 4 loyal customers in her first 30 days. She didn't get her product credit. She wouldn't have been Ruby bonus eligible if you had that back then. Did that stop her from making like a badass business? Not at all. Like now she's a presidential diamond. So I think it's important to remember that those first 30 days are really crucial when we talk about those 2 small pieces, but they are not make or break for your business. They're not, you know, there's tons of other people too who have had a slow start and it's okay. And it could be slow because you haven't jumped in yet and you could be working your butt off and you just need that planting season before you can kind of reap the harvest too. So it kind of goes both ways. Let's talk about retention for a second because somebody sent us, Casey wants to know how we keep our loyal customers active. So the 3 months goes by and a lot of people turn their auto ship off after that. What do you guys do to keep them ordering, to help them maybe pick up better products? How do you kind of stay in touch with them and get them to order longer? Brooke, you want to go first? We skipped you last time.
Yeah. What I like to do is I stay in contact with them. I make sure they get their order, make sure they have the proper instructions if they're doing the wraps. And then I always try to get them to add something onto their order, something they'll stay on for life. So for example, greens. I normally try to get everybody on greens. And especially if you're a mom, I try to get all the moms on Confianza. And then I follow up with them to make sure that they're actually taking the Confianza and ask them a week later, how are you feeling? Are you noticing a difference? And I let them know, like I started noticing a difference and my husband noticed a difference when I was, I think it was 6 or 7 days on the Confianza. And so if you help them become aware that the products actually are helping them and affecting their well-being, chances are you're going to have a customer for life. And I do things like I get them on my Facebook, I comment on their pictures, I like their posts, just so we have that relationship going. And I find when you create that relationship, people want to support you and they want to keep ordering from you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. That's good. Jackie, what do you do?
Well, I'm a huge fan of, I just grabbed them because I write so many thank you cards. I am so into old-fashioned snail mail with people, and I love samples. I send samples all the time to people, whether it's Wow or Greens on the Go or Greens Chew or whatever it might be. And I think I've had such better retention since I started sending thank yous after people ordered. And then I'll send, you know, after when their 3 months is coming up, sometimes I'll send them a sample of something I think they'll enjoy or something they've asked about in the past. But like Brooke said, like keeping in touch with them is huge. And in the beginning, I was like scared to keep in touch with my loyal customers. That's how probably sounds really weird, you guys. But I was like, oh my God, what if they don't like it? And what if they're going to say something? I'm just going to ignore them and just hope they do it. Well, that's not the best idea. So I mean, because that's the thing, you guys, you got to know what your customers' goals are. And if something's not working for them, then it's not the right product. Like if someone wants weight loss, the wraps are not for them, you know, so make sure you're talking to them and asking them. And so I think, like Brooke said too, get them on your Facebook, establish that relationship with them, and don't be afraid of them. They came to you for a reason. So make sure you're communicating with them and checking in, because that is what will keep them. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's hard to keep people on an auto ship after 3 months. So, but I will say I don't have the greatest rate of keeping people on an auto ship, but I have a pretty good rate of people reordering. Does that make any sense? Like they like the products, they'll reorder at their leisure. But yeah, that's what I like.
I feel like that's what I would do. Like if I was a loyal customer, I feel like I would complete my 3 months, and then I would probably turn my shipment off, and then I would just order when I need stuff or when I wanted stuff. But that wouldn't mean that I'm just done. So I like that.
Don't forget about them. Like suggest products. Like when the cleanse came out, every single one of my loyal customers got a message with a picture of the cleanse, either a text or an email that said, you have to try this cleanse. And a lot of them did place orders. So, and some of them forgot their login. So it was great because now they got their login information again. And so make sure you're keeping product, you know, in communication and doing product recommendations for them, and let them know that you're thinking about them.
Jennifer, what do you do? Do you have anything else to add?
You know, I have something that Jenny Battalato had actually recommended to us that was working really well for her. And I started doing it, and it's working. It's awesome. She sends out a mass email the beginning of every month. She BCCs everybody, and she's just like, hey, you know, how are you? Checking in. Wanted to see if there's something new you want to try this month. Is there, you know, or if there's like BOGO, for instance, if there's a new product. She just kind of sends something that is generic enough, yet sounds like her and personality and so on and so forth, just to kind of keep in communication. And then Sarah O'Connell had given us a great tip too about keeping up with all of your potentials and your actual customers in your phone, so that when there are things like BOGO, you know, it's a quick search and mass texts go out, you know, and then following up from there. A lot of it, I think the biggest thing that has helped me is asking people their goals and then revisiting, you know, perk points. A lot of people have ordered for a while. They might turn off their auto ship and you're like, oh my gosh, they have, you know, 60 perk points, and they loved greens before. They could get, you know, great 2 things of greens for free, and I should get them on the cleanse too, or try the cleanse with the greens, and they pay $6. So I think that's a lot of it, is just going back in and kind of keeping up with their accounts and just reaching out here and there. People are going to let you know if they're done. You know, if they didn't like it and they don't want to do anything else, they're going to tell you.
Yeah. So I like what you said about keeping up with them monthly, and I do that too. I actually have a MailChimp account where I've just kind of put every customer in there, and I can kind of customize and send like once a month, because I want them to consistently like know that I'm here. I want them to know that I care. I want them to know that, you know, they'll be the first ones to know when new products come out. But also, I think it's so important, like right now, like when BOGO hits, you don't want to be the person who's only in someone's inbox when you're trying to make a new sale. Like you want to have this reputation with them that you don't just remember their name when you're trying to sell them something. So you don't want to be the girl who's just messaging everybody about BOGO and you haven't even maybe followed up with them after their first order, or you haven't maybe checked in with them and told them if they have any perk points or anything like that. So let's just talk about BOGO for a second, because we still have a little over 24 hours to really rock this. What are kind of your, like, what are the first, like when they say it's BOGO, like what's the first thing that you guys do? Jack, you could go first.
I'm like,
You know what to?
I message like all my current loyal customers that are ordering to see if they want to add it in. And then I'll message, like you said, all my past loyal customers and let them know that this is going on. And then it's funny because I've gotten so many like loyal customers, this is why it's important to add them to your Facebook, because sometimes you forget people. And like, I just had another customer be like, oh, I haven't ordered in forever, but can I still get this BOGO deal? I'm like, yeah, I totally forgot about you. That's so bad. I'm the worst. So that's the other thing. Make sure you keep your customers organized, because when you place them, you forget where you put them. So I'm trying to be more organized in the last 6 to 8 months here. But so yeah, I think just sending out personal messages, letting people know. And if you're texting people, I don't know why, but if I send a picture on my text, I get a way better response rate than if I just send words. So I always add a photo to my emails or my texts, which sounds simple, but for some reason people respond more that way. So
especially with wraps and BOGO, like a bomb before and after picture is just going to make your post even better.
Absolutely.
I like that you start with your current customers, because honestly, people who have ordered from you before are probably the most likely to be the people to order from you again when there's a deal. They already see the value in our products. They probably already really like stuff. Maybe they've never ordered the wraps before. Maybe you got them with hair, skin, nails, and now it's a good time to convert them over to try something else. So I like that you start there. I start there too, because I figure these people already signed up and they're in the system, and it would be really easy for them to just go place an additional order. Brooke, what do you do when BOGO starts? What's the first thing you do?
The first thing I do is I post on my page and on my business page. And then second, I send out a message to all of my LCs, even if they've stopped ordering. And then the third thing I do is, like, it takes a long time. You go through all of your text messages, even scroll back like a year or more ago, anybody that you have ever talked to about it. I go on Instagram and I do that. I go on Facebook and I do that. And then anybody who shows any interest, I'm messaging them. I also do things like, I'm in some groups with police wives and redhead groups. And so I'll make posts in there, because I find we don't have many It Works distributors in, I don't know if they're called like specialty groups, like they're special to me.
Mm-hmm.
People connect with me in them. So I make sure I always stay on top of the promotions in those groups too.
That's good. Jennifer, what do you do? How do you go BOGO crazy?
A lot of what you guys have said, and I reach out to all distributors, even if they canceled out because this thing was just not for them. There's so many people, you guys, that you just don't know. Like, the timing might be right now where it wasn't before. So we had a distributor re-enroll because of BOGO the other day, and it just was never her time before, and now she's back on board, which I think is cool. So don't count anybody out. Old loyals, new loyals, distributors, even canceled distributors. The other thing that I have in the last couple of months I've kept up with is anytime anybody likes anything on Instagram or Facebook, I usually reach out, or I kind of feel out the relationship, but I keep a list of potentials. And I try to keep it in my phone too, just like we would loyal customers or distributors. And if I have their number, or if we've texted or whatever, have them in as a PLC so that I can go back in and say, hey, I know you want to try these. We've talked about it, but you never ordered. Now is the best time. And we got quite a few in the last few days that way. So kind of going back through, and then Instagram is a little bit harder for me. I don't know.
It's hard to organize, right? It's like a little harder to.
It's kind of like mass chaos. It goes so fast that I feel like it's kind of hard. I don't know, but just kind of really going back to people, people that have liked your business page, people that have liked business page posts, especially, just kind of going through and making big, huge lists. If you stay on top of it now, anytime that these promotions come around, you're ready to go. Versus scrambling to find the list and the people. And so
I feel like BOGO is like 99% follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of talking to new people too, but I think if you have an organized list started of who you've spoken to, who's been interested, who maybe said they were going to order and didn't. I keep a list of all those people too. Pretty much anybody that I ever talk to just goes on the list, and I'll say like one little thing about what they were interested in. And that's the first thing I do, is I, start going through all those people who were maybe interested in joining the team and they didn't, and I'll say now's a great time. And then, so when BOGO gets extended, which it pretty much always does, I literally go through everyone except if they told me like, well, I don't get paid until the 23rd, or I don't get paid until 2 weeks from now. Like those people, their circumstance isn't going to change. But anyone who maybe just didn't respond to me, or anyone who said like, oh yeah, I'll check it out, or anybody who it was kind of like left up in the air, I will message them again and I'll say, oh my God, girl, like BOGO was extended. Like this is a sign for you. Like you have to like log in and do it. So I'll even go through a second time when it's been extended and really just try to be pumped up for them again and say, oh my God, you didn't miss it. Like we thought you did, you didn't. And here you go. Here's my link. So, okay. So we're going to switch gears just a little bit. This one is sent privately and she is having trouble with kind of like negativity on her team. She feels like she hears a lot of distributors saying that they're doing everything that's expected of them and they're doing what they're supposed to do and they're following the steps and this and that. But she says that their Facebook doesn't necessarily reflect like professionalism in business. And she honestly just wants to know like the best way to go about giving some tough love to these people. So I think we all have maybe one or two of these on our team where they might be doing all the things right, but then some things that you don't necessarily understand become associated with your business when you start a business that's reflected on your personal Facebook page. So what do you guys say when that kind of thing, has that happened to you? What do you guys do?
You know what, you got to just be straightforward with them, and we're here to sponsor them and help them, but we can't build their business for them. And so I'm really blunt with people. I have had people come to me and they're like, I need to talk to you. Like I'm doing everything and I'm not getting anything. And first thing I do is check if they have an auto ship. Second thing I do is look at their Facebook or Instagram. And then, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Like if someone's not running an auto ship, and I'm old school in that, I know the 150 PBV is I think it has a time and a place, but if you're seriously investing in your business every month, that 80 BV auto ship should be running. You can't sell a product that you don't use yourself. It's impossible, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. You can't tell people they need this if you're not using it yourself. So I'll check that. And then if I look at their Facebook and it's just, I see negative swear words, all this stuff. I mean, it's just, I'm very blunt with people. I'm like, you got to clean this up. You got to, if you're going to use your personal Facebook page for your business, this stuff cannot be on there. Our company, you need to project positivity. And I'll be honest, like sometimes they just quit, but sorry, like that sounds really bad, but I want to help people. But the only way I can help people is being honest with them about what is holding them up. Mm-hmm. And if they can't see that, and I'm nice about it, but I'm just saying like, here's why. When people go to your site and you're like, F my life, I'm not making any money, this sucks, I'm broke. And then you're like, join my team.
Right.
I can't understand why people aren't jumping on board. I'm sorry, that's really common sense. So I think sometimes you just have to be really blunt with people. And at the end of the day, anyone who enrolls, I want them to succeed. And I'm going to give you the best advice that I can from what I see. And again, I didn't mean to be the auto ship crazy person, but that is a very important part. And I think the 150 is great. In the beginning, if we sign up to make money, and some people are in dire straits and they don't have that, which is why I think it's amazing our company offers that. I don't think any other company that doesn't require a personal product order every month. So it's pretty cool that we have that. But I think we should all be teaching our distributors to strive for that 80 BV auto ship eventually. So I don't know. I think honesty is the best policy, and there's a tactful way of doing it, but you have to bring their attention to it, because a lot of times people don't realize that. They've never run a business before. They don't know what's being associated with their It Works Global business and their personal life all meshing together. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think people don't think of it a lot of times. I think they think like, well, this is a business post and this is a personal post. And I think they don't understand that people need to see like a cohesion in your attitude, and they need to like you and trust you, and they need to look at you and believe that you're the person who can take them by the hand and lead them to success in this business. And if you're not reflecting that in every single post you're making, you're losing credibility, no matter what it's about. Like, even if you're just sharing like we have Facebook, we know it gets sent all around, like whatever it is. Even if you're just sharing something or whatever, like any of that, you lose credibility as a business person, bottom line.
Yeah, like if you wouldn't want your grandma to see it or your mom to see it, like don't post it on your timeline. Yeah. Like I've seen some vulgar things that make me blush. I'm like, oh my God. And then you're posting about wraps and you're now associated with It Works Global, and that's not okay. Like you're reflecting a brand, you're branding yourself. So you need to brand yourself. in an appropriate way, and you need to reflect health and wellness. So don't post yourself smoking a bunch of cigarettes, doing a beer bong, and then like post about the greens after that and being alkaline. I'm just saying, you know. But
no, you're totally right. Okay, Sheila wants to know, now that the $120 product credit is gone, what are you doing to get people pumped to get their first 4? She's saying, and I think she might also mean to kind of get people to join your team, because like, I'll be honest, I have a triple diamond on my team that joined for the product credit. She became a distributor because she thought to herself, I'll just get 4, like I could get 4 customers, sure, and then I'll just get my free stuff and then I'll just move along in my life. And obviously she did a lot more than that, but that was kind of what pushed her over. So I think that was a good selling point for us, even just if people were like, oh, I don't know, should I become a customer or a distributor? It was so easy. If we knew even a little bit that they might want to become a distributor, it was so easy to say, well, you should definitely become a distributor then, because you can get free product and do. So what are you guys doing now to kind of get that excitement level there without the 120?
For me, I'm doing what you talked about in your Zoom, I think it was a few weeks ago, Greta, when you congratulate them on completing your first step towards getting a $100 Ruby bonus.
Oh, it was a Periscope.
Oh yeah, Periscope. Yeah, because you still need to make them excited. They achieve their first step, and because the Ruby bonus can seem so huge and out of reach when you're starting, you need 5 DTs and all this volume. But if you congratulate them, like, awesome, you just completed your first step, they're one step closer to getting their $500 bonus. Yeah. So I loved your Periscope, and I've been using that with everybody.
Because I think, and I made that Periscope like right when they took it away, because so many people were complaining about it. And I was like, but I feel like we're using you got your first 4 as a qualification for your Ruby bonus as an afterthought, because we're all pumped and we're like, you just earned your $120 product credit. We're like, oh, and you're bonus eligible. Like, it was nothing. But now it's like, oh my gosh, like, you just did the first thing that you need to do to earn this $500. Like, keep going and just be excited about that. And I think that gets them feeling like, oh my gosh, like, I just did the first step. Like, maybe I could keep going and get this Ruby bonus. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you guys do now that there's no credit? Even like, let's like bring it back to like potentials. Like, we can't tell them that they'll get free products anymore. So like, how do you like pump them up or kind of like push them over that thing now, like to join your team? What do you guys do?
Well, I think people will focus on what you tell them to focus on. So I think having the $25 wrap rewards that are still there, that's a really great deal. So focusing on that is going to be something, you know, that's still a discount. And also just focusing on what they can make, the wrap cash, the bonuses, all of that stuff. So what you tell them or what you're excited about is what they're going to be excited about. So like Greta said, shifting your focus, like for customers, that is awesome. They're bonus eligible. So I think leading with that from the beginning is going to help a lot.
And that's kind of another thing. Like I mean, maybe you guys did it differently, but I didn't really get that excited about wrap rewards before. And now it's like, dude, you could get a whole box of wraps for only $25. And if you're excited about that and you make them excited about that, they will be. But again, It was kind of an afterthought, because we're thinking you just got your 120 in free product. And we're like, and you have these 2 wrap rewards, but you know, and then people are like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you about those. You know, like it was just like nothing. And they're so valuable.
Like focus on the money. So you can make a $75 profit on that. So I think if you focus on that earnings right there instead of, that did really suck when the product credit went away. But again, we can all refocus. We've changed so much. We ride the wave and we will adapt. But again, what you tell people is what they're going to be excited about. What you're excited about, they'll want. So.
Yes. Jennifer, have anything else for that one?
Not really. I mean, I think I'm kind of with Jackie in showing them, you know, there's so many ways to make money with our company. And if they're like driven to go get those 4 and get, you know, one step closer to that bonus, I think absolutely showing them how to sell individual wraps, whether it's blitzing or wrap appointments or whatever. For a long time, I made the big mistake of not wanting to put just a wrap on somebody or just sell 1 wrap, because I was like, it's a disservice. Like they need 4, you know, and So I got in my head, like, I don't want them to just have one because they're going to try it and give me the excuse that it didn't work because they went and had a cheeseburger after and, had a whole bottle of wine. Well, of course it didn't work the next morning.
Yeah.
So I've shifted gears and, a lot of people, and I know we haven't gotten into this, so it's kind of tangent, but a lot of people have been talking about wrap parties lately. And I have used wrap appointments to set wrap parties. So there's so many different ways to keep it going. So if you say to somebody, okay, you now earned a wrap reward, you can go make $75 off of this and you could book your first party where you could sell even more wraps. And so you're just showing them it doesn't have to be hard to make money and you don't have to wait for your first commission check.
Yes,
You
I
can make
love
money
that. And it's
right
encouraging.
now. You can go buy, go put gas in your car, go get Starbucks, go whatever. And so I think that's where we have to have the excitement of, you can make money today. You don't have to wait.
I love, love, love that. And I love it because we know that getting wraps on people is like the best way to get them to order something else. We know that getting a group of women together and getting them excited and all trying it and having a fun time is the best way to get those LC order forms filled out. And so I think we kind of hit this surge where we got away from building our businesses in person. And I think once we all kind of conquered the social media aspect of it, I think that kind of consumed how we worked our businesses. But when I first started, I had really successful parties. And when I was leaving a party, someone else would book a party and every party turned into another party. And I would have 2 or 3 a month. And it didn't take up a lot of time, one a week, maybe on a Sunday afternoon, I would go do one. And I always left with 2 or 3 customers. I always left with another party booked. And I think, I don't know where, but somewhere along the way, we kind of got away from that. And so I love kind of tying, being excited about getting these wrap rewards and then telling them exactly how to turn that reward into even more for your business. I love, love, love that you said that. So 2 people have asked this question. So I think this one is kind of good. People want to know, if you're building, and you enroll distributors and they get maybe a couple customers and then that distributor quits, how do you reach down into their business that they've kind of abandoned by leaving and keep in touch with those loyal customers? How do you introduce yourself to them? Because they're probably like, who's Jackie Sandaker? I don't know who that is. And what do you do to kind of retain those people?
I personally just send them an email and I introduce myself and I say, hey, I'm on so-and-so's team. She's no longer working as a distributor, but I want you to know that I'm here to help you with your goals and any questions that you may have. Mm-hmm. And I get them to come to me and I follow up with them. That way they don't feel like they're all alone. They still have that customer service and support for all of their goals.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I've seen, while we're talking about following up with customers and stuff, not to bring light to the negative, but there are negative things about our company online, whether it be reviews or blogs or whatever. And honestly, I feel like almost all of it comes from us dropping the ball on keeping up with our customers, because they'll say my auto ship just never stopped running. It's nobody should have that problem ever. They should be able to log into their own account and turn their auto ship off. That's something that they have complete control over. That doesn't reflect us as a company. Or they'll say I never, I tried these wraps and maybe they didn't get instructions on how to use them. And again, that kind of falls on us. Forget where I was going with that, but so there's these people who are abandoned in our businesses sometimes, and I think you just shouldn't be scared to reach out to them. So I like that you just introduce yourself. It's as simple as that. Just say hey, you're under me in my business and I'm here to help you. Yeah. So that's good. Jackie, what do you do?
I did the same thing, and I think a good segue is perks points too. So make sure you're looking at that because people love free stuff. I just realized that sometimes people aren't going to want to talk to you. They are who's Jackie Sandy? Who is this person emailing me? They're going to.
We have our own customers that sometimes don't even want to talk to us.
Exactly. So it's difficult. And so it just depends. I try to keep up with it, and I'll be honest, I should probably be better about it. But But yeah, I think perk points is a great way to segue in and just be really honest with them. Let them know they're not alone and you're here if they need anything. And I make sure that they have their login information, so their number and of course their password, they set that. But I let them know if they need help resetting their password or logging in that, I give them my number, they can text me. I give them my Facebook link. You can add me on Facebook or email me.
Okay, somebody wants to know kind of the opposite of this question. So I'm going to ask you, Jennifer, what if you have LCs who are placed under you and then their auto ships have stopped or they stopped ordering? Do you attempt to contact that person or help them? Or what do you do with the loyal customers who are placed under you?
Honestly, that really only happened in the very beginning that I can remember. And I think a lot of that goes back to your relationship with your sponsor, your relationship with your own distributors below you. If it was, for instance, Angela is my best friend and that's who I joined under. She did give me, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, I got it all my own. I'm trying to think of, I don't know that I ever had any. I had distributors placed below me. We'll go that route. So it's kind of the same idea. But the way I look at that is they have a personal relationship with that person. They, whether it's a customer or a distributor. So I would go to the distributor who put that person under you. Whether it's a distributor or a loyal customer, I would go to who personally enrolled and that conversation there is a team. That's what I would do.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, because I had a distributor from the UK that no matter how many times I told her, don't contact loyal customers I place under you, because they don't like it, you guys. They're like,
I don't know that we move them.
So, literally, I was like, okay, just don't contact them, okay? Because they're calling me like, who is this person?
Yeah.
So they're really uncomfortable because all of their credit card information is in there, all of this stuff. So they have no idea who this random person is that's contacting them about their order. So I think you need to be very clear with your DTs when you place. I tell them, I place a loyal customer under you. Don't worry though, they're still my personally enrolled. I will be taking care of them, and I will be doing the follow-ups.
I do that too. I'm like, I'm going to put this customer under you, but you do not need to call her. You don't need to follow up with her. I got it. And I'll even have, my distributors will message me and they'll be like, hey, G, that girl that you placed under me with the hair, skin, nails, her auto ship declined this month. And I'm like, thank you. I got it. Don't worry. I'll be in charge of that. Let me see. I think that's all. Or wait. Okay. Let's close out with this one. This is kind of a good one to end with. So, oh, we did that one. Okay, this is a good one. How do you guys book parties? I know that it's different now that we're all kind of a few years into businesses. So why don't you tell us how, what do you do now to book parties, and what did you do when you first started to book parties? Brooke, do you guys party? If you don't, that's okay.
I party online with my distributors. Okay. I don't really party where I live. We live in a really small town. And in the beginning, when I started, I had this distributor. She owned a yoga studio. So we had parties once a week at her place. And it was just an ongoing, every week we had a party there. She eventually shut down her studio, so we don't do that anymore. But I honestly don't really do parties in person. But what I do now is with the new distributors on our team and with personally enrolled who haven't had a party in a while, I'll contact them and say, hey, let's set up a party. I'll help you get this going. And we pick a date and we do it online.
How do you get people to come to those parties?
To those ones, what you have to do is personally invite them. And it takes a lot of time, but text them or call them and even just say, I would love to have your support there. You don't feel obligated to buy anything. I would just really love to have you there and show me support with my business. And chances are they might see something they're interested in. And lately, the parties we've been having, people were saying they didn't even know that we had all these other products. They thought it was just wraps or just greens. They had no idea about the Confianza. So now we've had lots of sales for Confianza over the past week because they had no idea. So if you can get people committed to doing an online party and do the personal invites, don't do the mass invitation because no one's going to come to that. Yeah. I always ignore those mass invitations, but send out a personal invite, let them know how much it would mean to you, and then also follow up with them the day of, like an hour or two before the party, and just let them know you're really looking forward to seeing them there and you hope they can come.
We were just talking about this on our leadership Zoom on Monday, and how just that little bit of keeping it personal goes such a long way. And we were saying, like I booked, or I made my own Facebook event for this like mixer that we had when I was home in Wisconsin. And so I forgot what time it was at, and I went to go check and see. And when I clicked on my events in Facebook, I had like 12 that I had been invited to, and I didn't even realize it. And so people, like, maybe it's easy to ignore on Facebook, but chances are they don't even see it. And so even if you just take that extra step and say like, hey friend, whatever your name is, I just invited you to an online party. If you could check out your events tab, I would love it if you could come in. And same kind of thing that you said, but reach out to them one-on-one. And I also just want to say, like, don't like, and this kind of just goes for like the business in general, it's kind of like a don't ever make a group chat with people and like put like 45 people in one message and send them all the same thing. Like, people hate it. Don't do it. And then people are commenting, and then it's like so embarrassing when it's like so-and-so has left the group, so-and-so has left the group, and then it's horrible. It just spirals out of control. So message people one-on-one, let them know that you invited them, do what Brooke said, and just take that personalization just a little bit farther. Jackie, what about you with like in-person parties?
So I'll be honest too, like since I moved, I have not done that many in-person parties, but what my biggest tip I want to share about parties that changed mine is doing evites. So it takes like 2 seconds to do an evite. I send it to my new distributor. It's got the link for the Zoom party on it, and you can do this for in-person parties too, and it's super cute. It's green and black and bling and so cute, and it literally takes me 5 minutes, and then once I have that template, or you have that template you like, you can click copy event for next time, and so you can use those each time. Just make sure you delete the people that are, because it'll copy the same people from the last party. So just click delete and remove those people and add your new ones. But what I love about it is you can add a photo album on that invite too. So you can put before and after photos, teaser photos on that. There's also a link to the evite that you guys can send in a Facebook message and just tell them, I would love you to come to this party. So if you don't know their email address or you think they won't check it, or you can text them the link too. But we've had really great success with it, and people are chatting on it, RSVPing on it. The other thing I like too is that on the evite at the end of your event, it says, would you like to send a thank you to all of your guests? So it personalizes this really cute thank you from you, and that you can send out. So it's just been kind of fun, and it does make it more personal, and people are more, and don't call it a wrap party on there. Call it something like, I don't know, something creative that will get their attention. And like Brooke said, as long as you tell them, I love that. I wrote that down. Like, it seems so simple. It says, I would love to have your support. Don't feel like you have to buy anything. That seems so simple. And I've never said that before. And I think that would take a lot of tension off of people. So
somebody told me that they call their parties leave your wallet at home. And they literally just make it like, you like, I don't want anything from you. I just want to show you this. Like, look, and we were talking about this on our leadership Zoom too. Like, nobody wants to be invited to come buy things. Like, that's not, like, nobody wants to be especially like an in-home party. Like, if you're just like, oh, like, come to my presentation, people are like, washing my hair that night, I'm not really interested. Nobody wants to feel like you just want them to come over because you want them to buy things from you. So I think like any way that you can kind of get around that. And this one girl, I cannot remember who it was, but they call it leave your wallet at home parties. And it's just like, I just want to sample stuff with you, and I just want to have fun, and I just want to show you what I'm doing, and you don't have to do anything for me. And chances are when the pressure's off, they'll be like, wait, I kind of am interested in that. Tell me more, kind of thing.
And then the other thing I do, you guys, in the evite is I encourage people to invite their friends. So I'm like, for every 2 people you invite, I'll give you a free wrap or a free facial. And of course, we cannot incentivize people to sign up as a loyal customer or distributor by giving them free stuff, but we can say thank you to our hosts and our guests by doing a giveaway or something that isn't, related to, you have to sign up and I'll give you this. No, but we can say thank you. So I think any way you can get referrals and expand your network is important and is great for your business.
Love it. Jennifer, what about you? Any party tips? Oh, you're muted. Did I mute you? How? Hold on. I don't know how I could have done that. Okay, you should be good.
Okay, sorry. No, I muted myself because my dogs were really loud.
Oh, okay.
So I have like a new way that's working really well for me, and I feel like it doesn't come across as, oh my God, will you please host a party for me? Oh my gosh, wait, it's not coming across that way. I book wrap appointments with people, and it's friends kind of is how it's starting. And I'm like, well, I know you just want to try it. So why don't we just try one and see what you think? And there's no commitment. You can just try it. I know that if we go over and we meet and they sit down and they hear a little bit more out of my mouth, not on Facebook, but out of my mouth about why I love what I do, and they try it and they get a result, they're going to be A, more apt to want to order, but B, they're going to be excited. And you know how we are as women, and I know there are men in this business that do really well too, but if we love a new makeup, what do? We tell our friends. If we love a new pair of jeans that just make you look awesome, what do? We tell our friends. If all of a sudden you have a beach vacation coming up, and this just happened the other day, you have a beach vacation coming up and you put this wrap on and it worked for you and you're so excited and you're going with a group of girlfriends, what are you going to do? You're going to tell your friends about this, right? So I know that the person that I'm wrapping at that point wants more wraps. And what I've done is I've incentivized them, and I'm like, hey, okay, so this took like 45 minutes. Why don't you call, 4 or 5 girlfriends and have them come over, and we'll do the same thing, and I'll give you a box for free, or I'll give you a wrap for free, whatever I feel like the incentive is. All of a sudden, they're getting something for referring more people to me, and a party was just booked without ever saying the word party. It's not salesy. It's just, I just want to share it with people. I just want to share it with you. And you loved it. Now you want to share it. And it naturally just kind of takes form the way that I think the company intended it to be. So all of a sudden booking parties that way, I'm able to do it so much easier. I feel like if you call somebody now and you're in an area, or your demographic of friends is a bunch of moms, they will have already been hit up for Stella and Dot, or, Jamboree, or whatever, all the different ones that are out there. They've already been hit up by all of them, and it's been spammy and it's been uncomfortable and they don't like it. So if you can go in a different way, that you're just wanting to spread the word, and all of a sudden they love it and they want more of it and they could get it for free, they're going to do the work for you. You're not having to, you're just there to support and show people, and it's working really, really well. It's working a lot better. And then for distributors, like Brooke was saying and Jackie was saying, that they may not be doing a lot like where they are, but if you're launching all of your distributors, whether it's Zoom or whether it's in person, you're kind of teaching them how to do it, what to say, all of that. And that's just as powerful as you doing one yourself. You're continuing to expand the networks, whether it's your network, your distributor's network, your friend's network. That's what this thing is all about. And that's what so many people they haven't quite figured out. The ones that are getting stuck, and the ones that feel like, I've exhausted, Facebook, I've exhausted my friend circle, I've exhausted this. Well, it's about a lot of other people's network. It's not just your network, and it's about growing your network and adding to. So that seems to be helping us right now. A lot of our team is starting to do the same thing, and it's just kind of starting to happen a little bit more naturally, I guess, and it's more about excitement than sales.
I like that you said it's not necessarily just about your network all the time, and it makes me think because so the Duns are obviously our #1 earners in the whole entire company. They're Black Diamonds. They make like more in a month than should like ever even be allowed. It's like insanity, and congratulations to them. Like, no shade whatsoever, but it's crazy money. They have never personally enrolled an Ambassador Diamond. They don't have anyone that they personally scouted and found and enrolled to their team who went ambassador, yet they have, I don't even know how many, like it's got to be, I don't even know how many, probably over 50, don't you think? There's almost 100 total. They've got a ton of them is the point. And they've got a powerhouse of a team, and it's not always just who you know. It's who you know and who they know and who they're going to introduce to your business, and it just kind of goes from there. And I think that's like the best example of that possible, because they absolutely are incredible at this business, yet they've never had their own personally enrolled ambassador. And it just goes to show you that does not even necessarily matter. So people are going to kind of rise up from within your business. It's gonna and it's happening to my team a lot lately. Like there's people who I'm like, you check your reports and you're like, holy cow, like who is this girl? And you click and you're like, where is she? And you're trying to find her in your chart and you're like, oh my gosh, she's incredible. I'm gonna go say hi. And people just start coming up in your business that you don't really even, necessarily sometimes know where they are. And I think it's crazy and it's awesome. And it's kind of one of the coolest parts about our business. It's how our business is supposed to work. And you just have to kind of keep doing your part too, to keep up with it. It was really all. So do you guys have any last thoughts or a tip that you could leave us with tonight, or anything else that you kind of wanted to say earlier and didn't really get a chance to?
I'll say one thing based on what you just said about the Duns. We've heard them, if you've been to corporate events, you hear their story a lot. But Stephanie is the first one to say she's never, ever, ever hosted a personal wrap party. Yet she'll go launch every new distributor. Mm-hmm. So for a lot of you that are afraid to do it yourself, or whatever the circumstance may be, mm-hmm. doesn't necessarily have to be your own party. It could be supporting your team and helping them and showing them. So
that's great. I like that. Jackie, what about you? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, so I was a triple diamond when I moved to Michigan from Arizona. And as you know, our company was founded in Michigan. And this kind of goes out to all those people that tell me nobody wants, or everyone's already heard of it. No, I can't find anyone that either doesn't have wraps or people don't want the wraps, or, you hear all that stuff. It's too saturated or blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I moved from Arizona to Michigan and I was terrified because how many ambassadors live in Michigan? Greta, do you know?
All the Black Diamonds live in Michigan.
Yeah, so within 2 hours from me, there's 3 Black Diamonds. So they make over $100,000 a month. And then I think there's over 10 or 15 ambassadors. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea, but I can think of 10 off the top of my head right now. So I'm going as a triple, approaching presidential. I'm freaking out because I'm like, my business is going to tank. Everyone's already a customer in Michigan. I just know it. I'm never going to find anyone. And I went presidential diamond when I moved to Michigan. And I'll tell you, I run into people every single day that see my shirt and they're like, what works? And so if people here can ask me still what works, and have not heard of it, with the birthplace of our company and all of the top earners basically living right here around me, you guys can do it wherever you're at. So it's not too saturated. It's just about you taking chances, being brave, wearing your shirts out, and really putting yourself out there. So that's my little tip.
Can I just say, because someone just responded already to what you said, my gal Jo is in Australia, and she said people knowing about the wraps ahead of time is actually an advantage. And I'll say this too, because when I enrolled, I think at the time there was a couple ambassadors here. Now I think there's 4 and a handful of presidentials, maybe more. And when I would go up to, people would come up to me and they'd be like, oh, those wraps, or, oh, you sell It Works, or, oh, and there was brand recognition there and people knew what I was saying. Or if I would blitz them, they'd say, oh, I heard about this. And one of the first girls that I enrolled, Jamie DeVergi, who's a triple now, she was in Milwaukee, just outside of Milwaukee in Wisconsin. And she would be like, Greta, this is fucking hard. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I tell them these wraps and they don't have any clue what I'm saying. She's like, I almost wish they had a little bit of background knowledge and a little bit of oh yeah, I've heard about that, or my friend tried it, or things that we think now is a struggle, oh, my cousin sells it, or oh, whatever it is. That's actually good, because Jo is saying, she's in Australia and people are like, you have what? They don't have a brain cell for it yet. And that's what Pam used to say, they don't have a brain cell for it yet. You need to show them what it is. And so people even ever having heard about it or ever having seen it on their Facebook before is actually a good thing. So, Jo, don't worry. You just have to set the pace there.
Yep.
She just went emerald. I'm so proud of her. Brooke, what about you? Do you have a last tip?
Yeah, I had this little analogy actually I just heard last week, and I loved it, because sometimes, especially as new distributors, if someone says no to us or acts like we're crazy and this is a scam, we get really offended. And even sometimes now, it still hurts my feelings, and I'm 2 years in. So I love this story. So it was, think about if you're a waitress and you're in a restaurant and you just served your table, and it's your job as a waitress to bring them a dessert menu and tell them about the dessert specials. And Just make it as attractive as you can. And imagine if your customers say to you, no, this dessert is a scam. Would you go back to the back of the restaurant and start crying to the other waitresses and saying like, oh my goodness, this dessert is a scam? No, because that's crazy. It's dessert. And so what we're doing with this business is we're offering people dessert for life. So it's our job as distributors to make this dessert as attractive as we can. And it's up to them to say yes or no if they want the dessert. We can't take it personally. It's up to them. And it's just our job to offer it. So I love that.
I love that too. That was like the best thing we could possibly end this with, I think. That's a great analogy. Brooke for the win. Thank you guys so much. This was so fun. I know that our teams, just from the feedback yesterday, I know that our teams really enjoyed it. They like hearing from new people. They like the fresh faces, and maybe we were kind of joking too, like we could say things to our team and they're kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, Greta, I'll work on that. And then Jackie could say it and they'll be like, Jackie is awesome. Like she gave me so many tidbits last night. And so we just like, giving a fresh perspective and giving you guys some new people to listen to, and kind of, we might be sharing some info that you've heard before, but I think sometimes it just takes a little something for it to click maybe differently. So we are going to do these more often. I think you'll just have to like kind of see when your upline's been announcing it. I don't think we have them like down yet, but we're going to start doing these more often. We've gotten amazing feedback and you guys have been great with the questions. If there's more that you'd like to know from any of us, you could inbox us, inbox your upline or your sponsor. And I guess just thanks, guys.
Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just questioned before. Lisa, she wants to know how to do an online party. My YouTube channel, I did a complete 45-minute how I do my Zoom online parties. I'm not saying it's the right way, but it'll give you some idea and you can tweak it how you want. So my name's Jackie Sandaker. It's on there if you want to look at it. And I'm sure these girls have stuff on theirs as well. So YouTube's a great wealth of knowledge. I know, I think other leaders have stuff on there too about how to do online parties. Mm-hmm. Sorry, not to interrupt, but I just wanted to.
I was just going to say, don't go to my YouTube channel. No bueno. I tried with the videos, but it's not my forte.
Me neither. But I got asked it so much, I was like, I'm going to try to do a video. It's not going to be great, but.
I made like a couple, so like all the kind of stuff that I felt myself saying over and over and over again, I'll be like, I could just make this video and send it off to people now. Like I try to pretend I don't even have a YouTube channel, so
that's how I feel.
It's not the best.
Oh, yeah, I should warn you, mine's not either, but give me some ideas.
Okay.
But thank you guys so much for listening to us and for the questions. And Greta, thank you for hosting. And
thank you girls for meeting us. It was a great way to spend an hour, and we just want to kind of congratulate everybody that even showed up to come and listen and to get tips. Like you guys really are leading the pack, because even just to spend an hour of your night with us, I'm sure there's a billion other things you could have been doing, and you're pouring into yourself and investing in your business. And I just want to say, like, we commend you for that, because 51 people showed up and now you're leaving with a little bit more info. So thanks everybody. We appreciate you. Bye.
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 Bye.